Hi everyone, Senior Scientist here, and bringing an update real quick on Bitcoin Cash. And wanted to just recap where we are at right now, and potentially where we're going in the very, very near term. So we many people have pointed this out, and we've been in this corrective pattern in this triangle, and we have, when we look at Elliott wave theory, anyway, it's A, B, C, D, E. So we've got our A, B, C, D, E, and we're coming out of that, shooting out. Okay, so we are exiting this corrective pattern. And then if you understand Elliott wave theory, which I don't, but it's the simple understanding is that there's 5 waves, and 1, 3, and 5 are pumps, and then wave 2 and 4 in between those are corrective. And wave 3 typically is the most explosive and one of the biggest waves. So it doesn't have to be the biggest, but it can't be the smallest. At any rate, when we see wave 3, it is usually very, very explosive. So we are right now, if you head over to Missedamillion, he has posted an update, and he's been very consistent, very accurate. And so wanted to give a shout out to Missedamillion again. So he is talking about Bitcoin Cash here, and Bitcoin Cash, where we're at with it right now. So we hit a bottom here today. I'll get to that in just a second, but I just want to recap again. Elliott wave, the third wave, is the most explosive. Okay, that's one thing you need to know, because as Missedamillion details, and he's been spot on. I mean, I've been following him since way back here, and he called for this pump at least a month before. You can go back and look at his videos even. They're still on there. And everybody else was claiming, I mean, this is a long time, year and a half, and people were claiming that Bitcoin Cash is trash, it's dead. And here I find this guy's channel, and he's like, Bitcoin Cash is getting ready to pump, and he called the top of this pump here, but also long range. He has been very consistent talking about where this thing's going, all the way up to that $50,000 mark eventually. Okay, now here's what's crazy where we're at right now. For the first time ever, Bitcoin Cash is looking to break this resistance line. Again, it's been since it broke off, or whatever you want to say, Bitcoin broke off from Bitcoin Cash, whatever. Since Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin forked, how about that? Bitcoin Cash has been in this corrective pattern, okay? And now we're getting ready to get out of that. And the reason why I was bringing up the wave 3 is because Missedamillion, again, you gotta go watch him. He explains how, let me see here, we are in. So this began, let's see, what was it? Let me go back to the daily, I think. Well, he explains the longer time scale and how we are in, what is it? I think this is wave 1 here. Oh no, this is wave 1. This is wave 2. And how we are in wave 3. Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Okay, so this whole thing here is wave 1, and this is 2, and we're in wave 3. We've been in wave 3 for a while, but within these macro waves, that was on the weekly time scale, we have these subwaves or microwaves, okay? Microwaves, not microwaves, but subwaves. And so each wave itself on the macro scale, again, we started wave 3, and he believes it started right here on the daily. So that's where we're starting wave 3, okay? Now, within those waves, each wave, okay, so for in wave 1, that will have 5 waves itself. Okay, again, 1, 3, and 5 are the pumps, and wave 3 is the most explosive. So we're in wave 3, starting here on the macro. Okay, so that means wherever that goes. And within that wave 3, which we began back here, he explains how this is wave 1, this is wave 2, which we hit the golden pocket, and we're bouncing out of it right now. And I do think that is the bottom. We can look at a few different reasons why I've been watching this thing. Number one, it hit his golden pocket. Again, he predicted that way up here, where this is coming down to, and he drew this box. And again, you got to watch Missedamillion. Well worth it. I mean, the guy knows his stuff. He's one of the few that I know who actually knows his stuff. Scholarly stuff, not speculating. He knows what he's looking at. He does this for a living. He's brilliant. So I really appreciate his stuff. Anyway, so we're just completed wave 2. We're now entering subwave 3 of macro wave 3. And we're breaking out of this entire corrective pattern. I mean, if that's not the trifecta of all trifectas, well, that wouldn't make sense. If this isn't the biggest trifecta, I mean, this is, everything's lining up. It's like the entire history of Bitcoin Cash has been setting us up for this move, which is expected to be the biggest move ever in the history of Bitcoin Cash, and maybe in the history we'll ever see of Bitcoin Cash. I mean, I think we're going to, keep going up and up and up and up and up and up, but I don't know if there will be an explosive move so fast out of this, and it's beginning right now. So check him out, Missedamillion on YouTube if you haven't already. Well worth the time. He explains things so articulate. He's a wonderful, brilliant mind, and a sign of that is how well he can explain what he's looking at. I do the weather, and so when we get something wrong in the weather, what's interesting is that people expect that, right? You're a weatherman. But if people will, you'll lose credibility with the public unless you can explain why you were wrong. And if you can explain why you're wrong, instantly you have all your credibility back. Okay. So my point is that if you can explain it, means you understand it. Okay. Nobody expects everybody to be right all the time, but if you can explain things, that is someone who deeply understands what's going on. And so he explains things very, very well. I don't know why I related that to weather, but whatever. Okay. So wrapping that up, I also want to talk about Merry Christmas to everybody. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful holiday. My guess is, I mean, just this is pure speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're maybe $1,500 to $2,000 by Christmas. We'll see. I'm never right. I haven't been right about one thing. So maybe saying that, hopefully it's downplayed, but I just think this move is going to be insanely explosive. Cesar Gets Crypto has been explaining a big move with Bitcoin Cash, Missedamillion. And the chart certainly seems to line up with it. There's just too many overlapping things happening. I mean, again, third wave breaking out of the entire corrective pattern for the first time ever. I mean, that's just, assuming we do all that, right? But it does look like we are starting that third subwave of the third wave, which is one you want to be fully packed for. If you haven't bought in, still get in right now. We're at 437, 438. This could be the start of it. It may take a couple days to build up and then go. I'm not sure. Missedamillion has a little bit better insight on that, but those are some very small scale, lower time frame details. All right, so I want to say Merry Christmas. Oh, and by the way, did you know, anybody who celebrates Christmas, that it's not actually Jesus' birthday, right? Okay, so we can actually pinpoint, approximate his birth date based on the date of, I think it's Zechariah, John the Baptist's dad, the priest, when he goes into the temple. We know when that happens because the priest is only allowed in the Holy of Holies of the temple once per year. And so we know exactly when that is. So we know when that event happened, and then when we can assume he got to work right away and got his wife pregnant right away, hearing from God that he was going to have a child, and he wouldn't be able to speak until this child is born. So he probably want to get that out done pretty quick. So we can then fast forward 9 months. We know when John the Baptist was born. We know when Mary came to Elizabeth, her cousin, who was pregnant with John the Baptist. And so we know then that Mary had already conceived, okay? And that the birth date then of Jesus is actually right around the end of September, early October. And it's on Yom Teruah, or the Feast of Trumpets, or Rosh Hashanah. It's been changed, the name. This is all the same. And the calendar is the 1st of Tishri on the Jewish calendar, but that also has been changed. So now it's the 25th of Elul. And that 1st of Tishri, though, is exactly the exact same day that Adam was created in Genesis, in the Garden of Eden. Okay? Pretty cool how everything ties in. And the Bible explains that Jesus, there's the first man born of the dirt, Adam. All are born under Adam. Then there's the second man born of the Spirit, and that is in Jesus. So, why do we celebrate Christmas on the 25th? There actually seems to be a biblical reason for it. And that reason likely is because if you take the birth date in late September, early October, and you go back 9 months, you come to roughly December 25th. And so that likely is the day he was conceived, which in a lot of different cultures, even today, people, they celebrate their birth date, not on the date they were born, but the date they were conceived. I know, kind of weird for a lot of us who don't do that, but they still do that to this date. So, food for thought, just kind of interesting. A lot of people don't know that. I shared it with some of my coworkers. They're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, this is, it's debated exactly when he was born, but we can approximate. And it seems to line up with Feast of Trumpets. I mean, why wouldn't it? He's the second Adam, first Adam, second Adam. The Bible describes that. So it all overlaps. So it makes sense that he's born on 1st Tishri, and we have that window. That's right smack dab in that window that we can approximate. Anyway, I want to leave you a little bit with something from my alma mater. If you want to check out Point Loma Nazarene University. And this is my choir. I love choir. And if you have kids, they're going to college, get them into choir. I did basketball, had a scholarship, and then I ended up doing choir. And I got to tell you, I never thought I'd like choir in high school and all that stuff, but choir was magical. It was a lot of work, tons of work, magical. Music has a way of touching you deeply. So anyway, here's just a minute worth. Hope you enjoy it. Peace out. Point Loma, the only college in North America that owns oceanfront property on the Pacific side. My freshman dorm room literally looked out right to the ocean. I surfed every day. Basketball, it was great. Check it out. Boy, you can't find a better school. So, going to try to get my son in there, and he wants to play soccer. So, yeah, they got a new president, and I know him. Played ball with him. Good dude. The old president was too, but he retired and they got a new guy, and I'll just tell you, he's really good dude. I know him. I've had in college, you're trying to find yourself, and he was kind of a mentor. He was a new professor at the time, and he played ball, and I'll just tell you, that guy has a heart for people. Like, he's the real deal. So I'm super, super glad that he is now in that position as president. All right, see ya.